And all I keep thinking is, but I think I'm too old, but isn't it too... And I'm like, but wait a minute. Who said it's too late? What's up, good people? Thank you so much for tuning in once again. This is episode 4 of the Finding Joy series. But before we begin, I would just like to show you this list of amazing people who did amazing things at a very late age. Enjoy. If you are not somehow encouraged by that, then I don't know. I do not know, because I see that and I'm just like, okay. Today's video is about, is it ever too late to start over? Here's the thing, guys. I don't know what the rush is when it comes to success, when it comes to realizing years and years of hard work and finally getting your fruits. I don't know what the rush is. I don't know who put the time limits to say by 23 you should be married, by 26 you should have your first child, by 28 you should have your second child, by 32 you should retire with your billions. I don't know who said that, but somebody said that, and I'm one of those people who definitely believed that. Still sometimes believe it. I'm struggling to unbelieve it, if that's a word, but it's there. And I think it's a real thing, that time pressure has been placed on us by somebody, and then you get these amazing people doing amazing things when it really should have been too late for them. Morgan Freeman started his career in when he was 50 something, I think, somewhere there. And he's Morgan Freeman now. He's the voice of God in any movie that requires God to be a character in the actual movie. We all know that. I've been toying with the idea of starting new things in my own life and what that means and what are the implications. And all I keep thinking is, but I think I'm too old, but isn't it too... And I'm like, but wait a minute. Who said it's too late? I saw this tweet. It was on Instagram or whatever. It was a screenshot. And it said, I paraphrase, but it said something like, you're too scared to go back to school because you're 32 and by the time you graduate, you'll be 36. But in 4 years, you'll still be 36. And I was like, oh, dang, that's pretty true. It's really straightforward, but I think we kind of view the idea, or at least I kind of view the idea of starting over or starting something new and the time it will take as though somehow time will freeze and you will sort of be stuck in this little, but I'm like, no, time is still gonna go. So what that tweet is saying, you could be 36 with a degree or 36 without a degree. You decide, but you're still gonna be 36. Now, obviously we know this implications, student loans, but the point is this idea of it's too late, it's over for you. It needs to go, it needs to die, it needs to get canceled. That's what we need to be canceling in this life. Instead of canceling and uncanceling and canceling and uncanceling Kanye West. I'm just saying, let's cancel that. In fact, today I saw this was on Instagram, mother and a daughter both graduating from med school in the States. I was like, that's so cool. And here's the thing, we admire people like that. We admire people who have the courage to do something amazing when it looks like it's too late for them to do whatever that amazing thing is. And yet, the thought of doing that for ourselves, we then see ourselves as somehow having failed or having been left behind, underachieved, or whatever it is. That same sort of awe that I see of this, 50-year-old woman who's just graduated from med school is not the same awe that I would look at myself if I decided today I'm going to med school, which I'm not because I suck at anything mathematical. It's just not gonna happen for me. It's fine. I'll be the imaginary doctor in Grey's Anatomy. I digress. When I look at that for myself, I'd kind of feel embarrassed, imagine I'm going to tell people that this is what I'm doing. They're going to talk about me. And I'm like, but who would? And anyone who actually would look down on you for trying to upgrade your life in whatever way you are trying to do that is no one you want around you anyway. That's not someone who you would respect. That's not someone whose opinion you would even value. That wouldn't be a cheerleader, clearly, obviously. So anyone who would think that, you would kind of just toss them aside, and whatever messages they send you, you kind of just filter through them, and that's that. And yet we kind of have that dialogue with ourselves. Oh, but you're a mom now. Oh, but you're so old. Oh, but you're going to be studying with your child. Oh my word. Oh, but this means that you're going to have to move back home. And I'm saying, my view now is, if you're in a position where you have the opportunity to do something for yourself, for instance, if you want to do something and you have to move back home, okay, there goes the battery. If you are in a position where there is something you want to undertake in your life, right? If there's something that you want to do in your life, and there are certain graces, that's what we're going to call them, God has placed around you. So for instance, maybe you do want to go back to school, but going back to school means moving back home so that you can afford the tuition, right? If there's a home for you to move back to, and there is a family willing to take you in, that is God's grace. Do the thing that you need to do. This is not the time to be prideful, you know? And I'm not saying this as like, do what you have to do. I'm talking to myself here because I know that there's things in my life where I'm like so scared to move in a certain area. And yet, like, if I really look at it, there is space for me to move. It's not as though, you know, I'm in a position where it is all on me. If I don't deliver, it's over. There's nothing. And I think if you're in a position where there is some wiggle room, then wiggle, babes, wiggle. Like, do what you can do with what you have. I think this idea of that's been perpetuated that you need to have certain things at certain times makes no sense, because at the end of the day, we're all on a different journey. We're all on different journeys. It sounds corny and it always comes up because it's true. We're all on different journeys. You might be on a path to being a mom to 7 children and raising chickens and freaking giving your kids freshly milked. You get what I'm trying to say. You might be on that journey. So trying to compete with an Instagram fashionista makes absolutely no sense, because what are you going to do with your fur coat on the farm with the chickens? You get like I really tried so hard here with that metaphor, but like it failed. It failed. It failed me. But what I'm trying to say is we're all on different journeys, and we should allow for all our journeys to look different. And we should allow for them to take us down the crazy paths that they're going to take us to get to where we need to get to. It shouldn't be this thing where we are on some person's clock who we don't even know who they are, and we're stressed out and we're looking at our lives feeling crap about ourselves because somebody said at 25 you should have X, Y, and Z. So is it ever too late to start over? Heck no. If you can, start over. Start the thing. Even if you have started 4 times, start on the 5th time and see it through this time. Starting over is brave, and it does require some level of risk-taking and some level of stepping outside of yourself. But it's possible. I think if there's something that you want, if there's a specific life you are trying to live, a specific skill you want to learn, or you want to change up your whole career, I don't know what that is. I think we should be brave enough to do it, you know? Like, you only live once. And I always say that phrase is so true, but I think it's got such negative connotations because it ends up being a reason to be completely destructive. You only live once. Let us drive at like 300 kilometers an hour. Why? And yet you only live once. Surely that should mean embrace this life God has given you and the breath in your lungs, and be brave enough to live it fully and to do the things that you're scared to do. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you're enjoying this series, please do share it. We have about 2 episodes to go. And thank you so much to everyone who has been listening to the Project Redemption. I hope you're enjoying it. We have another music video coming pretty soon called Little Girl. If you've got the project, you'll know Little Girl. That's probably one of my favorite songs that I've written ever. So yeah, peace out, guys. I will see you on the next one. Much love.